In today's video, we're going to talk about moving from California to Arizona, what it's really like living here, and just a general overview of things you might know and some things you might not know. We'll start out with the homes first, and then we'll start talking about healthcare, wildlife, including bugs, snakes, and then the weather, of course, which is a big deal. Don't forget to watch some of our other videos on where to live in Phoenix and how to get around. So let's talk about housing first. First off, the homes here in Arizona might be somewhat similar to what you have in California. Many of the big builders who build over in California also build in Arizona. Most of them are made from 2x4 and stucco with some stone accents. The older homes here are block construction, and brick homes, you won't find many of those here. It amazes me when I travel to California to see what you get for the money, and it's not a lot, unless you're further out. Traffic in the major cities is excessive, and in general, all the extra taxes you have hurt what you can get for the price. Don't get me wrong, Phoenix pricing has risen a lot, and most of it's actually due to the Californians moving here. But I lived in California for a short time with my sister as I transitioned to the West Coast, and I felt poor. When I moved to Arizona, I was able to buy a condo and 12 rental properties. The new trend in Arizona is for a more modern home. Modern farmhouse is really popular. We're seeing less territorial homes being built unless you live in North Scottsdale. Overall, we have something for everyone. New construction, though, differs quite a bit from our homes built in the 1960s. One thing that's different is the white picket fences. You won't find a lot of white picket fences around here. You're going to find cinder block walls between all the homes. And once you've lived in a home with a cinder block wall for privacy, you're never going to want to have a home without it. It's a great feature. It keeps the neighbors out, gives you a little bit of privacy. And many of the home builders don't just put them in because they're trying to keep the costs down. Green grass is a dying thing here as Phoenix is attempting to save water. Did you know that most of the water issues in Phoenix start with people's watering systems in their yards? Phoenix is talked about a lot in the news about running out of water, but actually we have more water now than we had in the 1990s. If you watch our video right over here, you're going to see the details in that video. Now, North Scottsdale was in the news because one of the communities ran out of water and that all the water had to be trucked in, and they were getting the water from the city of Scottsdale. Now, that wasn't on city water, that was on their own certified water area, which is more of a concern when you buy in Phoenix. If you buy from one of the major cities, you're going to have a 100-year water supply. Now, two-story homes here are not popular at all because we were so spread out over the years. People did not want them. In the new home communities, they're building more two stories, but many of the builders are also building a section aside where they only build single level units, and they do charge a premium for that. The one thing that people don't like is when they do infill and someone builds a new home next to you and they build up a two-story and now they're looking down on you in your backyard and your pool. If you're an exhibitionist, you may like it. I don't know. But I don't want anybody being next to me in a two-story looking down on me. Another surprise here for many people is that the electrical panels on their homes are on the outside. They think people can just go up and shut off their power, which actually they could. They don't put them in the garages here. They do put them on the exterior of the home. That's just been something they've done for a long time. Next thing we're going to talk about is the climate, and remember that your AC is your friend. You need to take care of it here. It's very important to have a good system. And also solar screens are really popular here that you put over the windows and they reflect some of the sun. They actually also give you privacy. Overall, Californians seem to adapt to the weather here unless they had the good fortune to live right on the coast where the temperatures are moderate year-round. Desert landscaping is the most popular here, and they're using less grass now and more stone and natural landscaping. Phoenix is great if you want to explore, if you want to see great desert property and the beautiful desert. North Scottsdale can't be beat. The homes are built into the natural desert and it's so amazing. In most of the valley you're going to have views depending on where you live, and sunsets here are the most amazing and beautiful. Arizona has some of the best skies I've ever seen. So now wildlife. In many parts of the valley, it's not uncommon to see coyotes, rabbits, hawks, and other desert critters, including bobcats, snakes, and scorpions. Yes, snakes are native to the desert, especially the rattlesnakes. So when you're hiking, you need to be careful. But it's not anything like Texas or Florida where you're going to find them everywhere, climbing all over. Certain areas are going to have more than others, especially some of the newer areas where they were native and now they're gone. I live in Paradise Valley, basically in Old Town Scottsdale, and I've never seen a snake down here at all. Remember, they need to eat food, and when they build all the new homes, the food is chased away, so you won't be finding them. Scorpions are a little different though. Though you don't often see them, they are around certain parts of town. If you're buying a home where they've had them in the past, you're not going to get rid of them. They pretty much are territorial and they're going to stick with their area. If you go into some new areas, you're going to stir some up and they're going to be available, so you're probably going to have to spray that property. The one thing we don't have a ton of here are the regular bugs. You know, we can sit outside and eat. I'd say California is pretty similar in that way. That's one thing that I love about living here. I lived in Atlanta and down in Florida for a while, and overall the bugs just bothered me. You're going to have some flies and stuff, but overall it's not terrible like Florida and Texas. So termites, yes, we have termites here, so you're going to have to treat your property and stay on top of it. Next, we'll talk about some taxes. Property taxes overall, food tax, and all the taxes in general in Arizona are pretty reasonable, especially compared to many states, and California being one. The Phoenix area is great for getting around because it was built on a grid system. The main roads run north, south, east, and west. We're down in Tucson. They're curved around and it's really hard to get around. And even though our traffic has increased dramatically, it's still nothing compared to LA traffic. But be prepared for Arizona drivers because they do drive fast, and then the snowbirds drive really slow, so you got to be careful. License plate fees are pretty expensive. They change in every state, but here they're not cheap. So the newer the car you have, the more expensive it's going to be. Overall, I think it's pretty similar to California. So healthcare, you know, Phoenix is a growing and a newer area. We have a ton of retirees here, so we have a lot of good healthcare here. At least I feel we do. I moved here from Chicago. And then, of course, we have the Mayo Clinic, which is one of the best hospitals in the United States. So talking about the weather, what's the hottest part of the day, the hottest part of the year? What about storms and rain? Well, summer, of course, is the hottest time, but there's two types of heat: dry heat and humid heat. For me, the hottest part of the year is when our temperatures are over 105 and we have humidity in the air, and that's during our stormy season called monsoon. If you got 110 degrees but it's dry out, it's not even going to feel that hot, and Arizonans will be out doing things. I mean, when you get out of the pool in Arizona at 110 degrees, you're going to be cold because it does dry you off pretty quickly. You're going to want to wear sunscreen all the time, have a dermatologist on speed dial, and wear a hat. Now, in Arizona, we do get cold in December and January, especially after coming off a hot summer. So most of the people are going to be complaining about how cold it is in the winter, especially the people that live here. It's not unlike Palm Springs really here. And in the winter, the only people that are going to be going into a pool are the people that are not from here and they're vacationing here. Winter is the busiest time for the snowbirds, and it's usually January through the end of April. And then we have the baseball season in March, which is a very popular time. Don't be surprised by our big storms. They come in hot and fast. They make a lot of lightning, and they create a lot of dust and a lot of wind. Our storms can drop a lot of rain in a short amount of time, and our ground can't absorb it all. The humidity comes with these storms, and that's the most uncomfortable time of the year. And for me, that's August and September. Most residents here are going to go outside early in the morning to avoid the heat, or they're going to jump in the pool after 8 p.m. when the sun is gone. A couple things you didn't know about Arizona is, remember we have cold spots. Remember we have skiing here. A couple hours from Phoenix and you can be in Flagstaff and you can go up and go skiing. We also have some forest areas. And in general, We have a lot of good things going on here. Many of the wealthier people will have a second home in northern Arizona. And don't forget, here we have the Grand Canyon. In summary, moving to Arizona can be a great experience with the proper prep and knowledge. And if you're looking to make this move, reach out to me. I can help you with your real estate needs. Remember, Arizona is more than just a desert. It's a vibrant state with a lot to offer. So if you're considering a move here, these tips may help. Thanks for watching today. Have a great day.